blasting, billowing, bursting forth with the power of 10 billion butterfly sneezes.
This is Wine, Money, and Song. And if you want an insider's view of the wine industry, and if you're interested in learning about wines in different wine areas, please subscribe. So this episode is going to be a tasting episode. And I do these every now and so often because the viewing public has great interest in it. And they want to hear what I feel about certain wines. Now, you have the Wine Advocate, you have James Suckling, you have the Wine Spectator, you have all these other people. You really don't need me so much to tell you what wine is good and what wine is not good. But guess what? You really don't need them either. You don't need them either. The key thing that anyone could do who's knowledgeable and experienced in tasting wines, the most important thing is to have the ability to communicate those attributes of wine and compare them to other experiences that they've had in the past. Now, the reason why you might value my opinion, and I said might, is all the decades and decades and decades. You know, it's closing in on 50 years. So a half century of tasting fine wines and comparing all of the past wines I had. You know, I'm trying to think how many different vintages of Du Cru Beaucaillou have I drank in my lifetime. Different vintages. And God, I don't know, 40, 50 different vintages? I don't know. Probably. Somewhere in another. And that's where I bring value. And not everyone has a great palate. That's opinion. I know Ab Simon, who was the CEO of Seagram Chateau and Estate, was picked Man of the Year at the Wine Spectator one year. And in his interview, they said to him, well, you must be a very great wine taster, a phenomenal wine taster. And he says, no, I'm not. He says, but I have phenomenal people working for me who are great wine tasters. And there were a number of us who were talented tasters, and mainly because of our experience. I don't think you're born a great taster. Now, there's some people who say there's a breed of super tasters. They have super sensory power. I don't know about that. But to be a good taster, you have to have a very good memory. And you have to be able to try a wine. And we're going to be talking about the 82 Margaux, where my value comes in. I had the 81 Margaux, the 83 Margaux, 84 Margaux, so on and so on and so on. And I had the 59 Margaux, and drawing upon those tastings and having it in my head, that's where my value is. So that's my 2 cents why maybe I can add value. So we're going to start off today having tasted the 1982 Margaux, and not for anything. I had bought a case of Magnums of 82 Margaux in 1983 as a future. And when I got married in 1995, that was one of the wines I poured, Magnums of 82 Margaux. You should have been at my wedding, yeah. And I had 82 Haut-Brion, I had 85 Haut-Brion, and I had some Grouard La Rose 82, and I had 4 or 5 other really good ones. But back to the case, the 82 Margaux. Now, I have a lot of experience with 82 Margaux because I bought 3 cases of it, and I think I have about less than a case left. And the Magnums are gone. As I said, I used them at my wedding. What makes 82 Margaux different? The 1982 vintage in general it's a very atypical year for Bordeaux. It's very ripe wines,
soft wines, and full of fruit. The 82 Margaux is not as obvious as some of the other wines in ripeness. Now, it's a ripe wine, but it's not anything like Lafite. 82 Lafite's a very ripe Lafite. 82 Margaux is really a big, brutesome wine and ripe. Mouton is a monstrosity, a monster of a wine. A huge wine in flavors and tannins and ripeness. While the 82 Margaux is very silky, has a great nose, and is very, very classic Bordeaux type. And the rest of the 82s are first growths are not like that generally. Although they're wonderful, but they're atypical. 82 Margaux is more typical of Bordeaux. And the ripeness now, this wine, it's 45 years old, and it's getting up there to its 50th birthday soon. But the wine is still solid. The wine's going to go. It's beautiful, and that's what makes Bordeaux great. It's just delicious, but it can age so long, and it changes, and it adds little complexities as long. So 82 Margaux, lush, round, beautiful wine, very different than the other first growths. And how much 82 Margaux is? I don't know, $1,000 a bottle, whatever. Just show it off a little bit. The second wine is 2005 Pavillon Rouge, which is the second wine of Château Margaux. But this is the 2005. Now, 2005, I consider to be a great vintage in Bordeaux. My friend, the King Ron Metzger, just tasted like 15 of the 2005s recently. And I saw the list of wines. He showed it to me. And I said to him, aren't they all, and he had all the first growths, and he had some of the Pomerols. Aren't those wines still too young? Whenever I taste them, they have a texture to them, and they're going to be 50-year-old wines, easy. But they're going to age very, very slowly, and they have a texture to them that coats your palate. And the tannins are not dry on a lot of the 2005s. But on the 2005 Pavillon Rouge, which is the second wine of Margaux, and the second wine means a lot of times that it's from younger vines. The grapes were picked from younger vines, and also it could be a barrel by barrel selection. And sometimes the wines don't age that long in new barrels too, that they relegate them, and that becomes the second wine. So the 2005 Margaux, the nose is very, very Margaux-like. It's got the violets, the crushed violets. It's very, very sexy in the nose. In the palate, the wine is very big, and it has grainy tannins. The tannins are grainy and a bit strict. And I found the wine, especially at the end, not to be very pleasant. And this is one of the few wines I'm going to spank a little bit. That I really didn't, and I've had 6 bottles of this before. This is the first time that I had it that I found those really gritty tannins, grimy tannins, chalky tannins, and they kind of ruined the finish for me. So, bad boy. Okay. Now we're going to move into 2 Italian wines. We have Cher Bayona, Rosso di Montepulciano, 2016, and very famous estate. The regular Brunello, probably $200 a bottle, like that. This wine, I think I got an auction for like 50. And the 2016 is a long keeper, the vintage. I found this wine very deep and dark and not very yielding, but a high quality wine, and it really needs a lot more age. Onward to, we have Valsina, which is one of the better producers of Chianti, Rancia, Chianti Classico Reserver. This is the 2015. And the 2015 vintage in Europe is a very ripe vintage, and this is super ripe. This is very ripe, lush, easy to drink, and the wine's 9 years old now. It still probably could use a few years, but you can really taste the warmth of the vintage in this, and it's an excellent Chianti. I would have liked something that was a little better balanced and not as, I wouldn't say it's overripe, but I would like it a little less ripe. The last two wines, and part of the reason I have two great values at the end. I have Priapan Chianti Classico 2002, and I have the La Crema Monterey Chardonnay 2023. These two are white wines that are under $20. This is about $20, the Soave Classico, and the Chardonnay from La Crema. La Crema is owned by Kendall Jackson Estates. The Priapan, and to understand the difference between regular Soave and Soave Classico, generally when you see the Classico, especially with Chianti also, generally it's from higher up vineyards and higher quality soil, better drainage, and generally you get more intense wines out of it and more flavorful wines. The 22 Soave is very ripe, pear-like quality to it, with some white flowers, and really delicious. Really, really great to drink, and for $20, I've been telling you all along that Italian white wines, especially in the the northeastern part of Italy, are great values, and you can find a lot of other wines, Soaves also, that are very good. Verdicchios, excellent wines. Look for wines like this. This is from the Lake Garda region, and this Soave Classico is delicious, absolutely delicious, and very versatile. While the La Crema Monterey Chardonnay from the 23 vintage, this is a wine that was delicious to drink, and I think I paid $13.50 a bottle for it. And I wouldn't turn this away at any time. It's light to medium bodied. It's soft. There's no oak to the wine. It's fresh. It's fruity. You get some apple crisp to it, and a hint of orchard fruits, and really enjoyable. And at this price, this is what you should be looking at. Buy white Burgundy now. You got to pay $50 and up just to get entry level village wines. So these two wines, go to the bank with them.